A blessed evening po, ma'am. So, topic na naibigay sa amin is about volleyball. So, let's begin in the introduction. Volleyball is a popular team sport that originated in the United States in the late 19th century. It was initially developed as a less strenuous alternative to basketball, aiming to create a team sport suitable for older adults. Over time, it evolved and gained popularity as a competitive sport worldwide. So, ang pakaunawa namin po dito, ma'am, sa less strenuous. So, medyo medyo ahead lang siya pero almost the same din siya sa basketball kasi talagang involved yung sabi nga sa paglalaro ng volleyball halos yung sabi nga nababanat halos yung muscle from shoulder to legs. So yun po yung pakaintindi or understanding ko about sa less strenuous alternative to basketball. So medyo nakaka-ahead siya ng konti sa basketball. Kasi nga yun nga mas nababanat halos yung mga muscle niya sa lalo na sa paa or sa legs. When it comes to blocking, pagtatalon yung isang player. So let's continue. Volleyball is non-invasive sports game of a net type where there are two competing teams. 6 members who control the ball with parts of their body. There are both offensive and defensive tasks, and one game event may result in both winning and losing point. So, ang kagandaan naman sa volleyball is it's a competition pero yun ang kagandahan sa volleyball. Tinawag siya na net type kasi yun parang yung mga player is wala silang direct contact sa sa bawat isa. Kumbaga, less din yung injury na nangyayari sa volleyball compared sa basketball. So, lastly, the game of volleyball originally called mentonit. So, ang mentonit is kumbaga a game based on basketball and badminton that later developed into volleyball. So, kumbaga basketball siya and badminton na later on na pinaghalo siya. Siguro marahil yung skilled or yung mga movement, galaw sa badminton in basketball. So makikita mo din sa volleyball. So I think yun din yung naging basihan kaya mga sa tagal din ng panahon na na-develop is nabuo yung volleyball. So makikita din natin na sa badminton may strike din sa sa mga pagtalon, meron din sa basketball and ganun din sa badminton. So yun ang naging yun ang tinatawag na mentonit. Kumbaga a mix of movement in the basketball and badminton and also the skills. So that's all, ma'am, and thank you and God bless.
Brief history of volleyball. Volleyball was invented in 1895 by William G. Morgan, physical director of the Young Men's Christian Association in Holyoke, Massachusetts. It was designed as an indoor sport for businessmen who found the new game of basketball too vigorous. Volleyball has come a long way from the duty old YNCA Gymnasium of Holyoke, Massachusetts, USA, where the visionary William G. Morgan invented the sport back in 1895. It has now seen the start of 2 centuries and the dawn of a new age. So this is the timeline of significant volleyball events. In 1900s, a special ball was designed for the sport. In 1916, in the Philippines, an offensive style of passing the ball in a high trajectory to be struck by another player, the set and the spike, were introduced. And in 1917, the game has changed from 21 to 15 points. In 1920, 3 hits per side and back row attack rules were instituted. In 1922, the first YNCA National Championship were held in Brooklyn, New York. 27 teams from 11 states were represented. And in 1928, it became clear the tournament and the rules were needed. So the United States Volleyball Association, or USVBA, now USA Volleyball, was formed. The first US Open was staged as the field was open to non-YMCA squad. In 1930, the first two-man beach game was played. In 1934, the national volleyball referees were approved and recognized. In 1937, at the AAU convention in Boston, action was taken to recognize the U.S. Volleyball Association as an official national governing body in the U.S. In 1947, the Federation Internationale de Volleyball (FIVB) was founded. In 1948, the first two-man beach tournament was held. In 1949, the initial World Championship were held in the Prague, Slovakia. In 1964, volleyball was introduced to the Olympic Games in Tokyo. In 1965, the California Beach Volleyball Association (CBVA) was formed. In 1974, the World Championship in Mexico were telecast in Japan. In 1975, the U.S. national women's team began a year-round training regime in Pasadena, Texas, moved to Colorado Springs in 1979, Coto de Casa and Fountain Valley, California in 1980, and San Diego, California in 1985. In 1977, the U.S. national men's team began a year-round training regime in Dayton, Ohio, moved to San Diego, California in 1981. In 1983, Association of Volleyball Professionals (AVP) was formed. In 1984, the U.S. won their first medals at the Olympics in Los Angeles. The men won the gold and the women in the silver. In 1986, the Women's Professional Volleyball Association (WPVA) was formed. In 1988, the US men repeated the gold in the Olympics in Korea. In 1990, the World League was created. In 1995, the sport volleyball was 100-year-old. In 1996, two-person beach volleyball became an Olympic sport. So that is the brief history of how volleyball began and created in the time of significant volleyball events.
Facilities and equipment. In the early stage of volleyball, the game was played with a bladder of a basketball and a net similar to tennis. However, improvements were made to the equipment and standards. Rules were establishing. Today, volleyball is played on a rectangular court with a net dividing into two equal sides. The objective is to score point by successful grounding the ball on the opponent's side of the court while preventing them from doing the same. Volleyball facilities consist of indoor and outdoor courts. Indoor courts are typically found in sports complex, gyms, and schools, providing a controlled environment from matches and practice sessions. Courts are commonly seen in parks, beach, and recreational areas, allowing for a more leisurely and casual style of play known as beach volleyball.
The equipment used in volleyball includes a ball, net, and appropriate footwear. The ball is especially designed for volleyball, usually made of synthetic leather, and comes in various sizes and weights to suit different age groups and skills levels. The net, placed vertically in the center of the court, is held up by posts or placed on stands to create a barrier between the teams. Players wear comfortable sports shoes with good grip to ensure stability and prevent injuries while playing.
Skills and techniques. Volleyball's action-packed sport that rewards strategy and athleticism and teamwork. As each players must constantly appreciate their next move and be already to react in an instant. Although it can seem complicated with all the different movements that each player is doing. Volleyballs can be broken down into six fundamental actions that are constantly repeated through, throughout the match. Volleyball requires a combination of physical and technical skills. Players need to master techniques such as serving, passing, setting, attracting, blocking, and dribbling. These skills involve precise control of the ball's trajectory, timing, footwork, and consideration with team mastered it.
Serving. The serve is the first contact in a volleyball game, and it's an important opportunity to gain an advantage over the opposing team. It is a skill that every player must master, as it's the first move that can give your team momentum and shut down your opponent's momentum. Although serves are a great way to score points, serves can also be used to break up the opposing team's formation, creating opportunities to score in the future. A skill serve toward the setter or a weak passer can disrupt the opposing team and make them panic, giving your team move opportunities to score. There are different types of serve, such as the underhand serve, the underhand serve, and the jump serve. Some more advanced series, some more advanced service serves include the floater and the top spin. No matter which type of serve you decide to do, the key to a good serve is accuracy and consistency, which require practice to master.
Passing, also known as the bump, it is used to receive the ball from the opposing team, serve on or hit. The goal of passing is to keep the ball, play and set up an offensive play. The pass effectively, the player should get in position, keep their arms straight and feet parallel, extended their knees forward and make contact with the ball using forearms. Ideally, the ball should be passed high toward your setter so that they can facilitate offensive plays for your team. This is the best step in the basic step. Setting spike requires that makes up the foundation of volleyball offense and arguably the most important skill to have in a volleyball. Setting. Setting or overhead passing is the most important step in an offensive plays as and determines which play gets to spike or attack. This is normally done by the team setter and the second step in the pass set spike requires. Time setter must have good hand-eye coordination and time ability to make quick decisions to determine who to pass to. Setters must also have good spatial awareness to know where their teammates are, as well as the opponent's defense are the weakness. To set, the player should use their fingertips and create the triangle with timer's thumb and fingers. Their hands should be above their head with their fingers relaxed but steady, with their knees and elbows slightly bent when they are about to set. It's important to follow through with the motion with their entire body by extending their knees and straightening their arms. Setters, what you take care high and accurate ball and trajectory towards their hitter that's easy to comfortable to hit. When playing a competitive setting where setters are most experienced and comfortable with their hitters, setters can change the tempo of the attack by doing a quicker set. This needs to be coordinated with the hitters, but when done right, it can add disgusting weapons that's difficult to react to. Attacking. Attacking, also known as hitting, is the final step in the pass-hit spike sequence and it is used to score point. There are a variety of different ways to attack a ball, but the most common and consistently effective way to do is spiking. Spiking is a combination of jumping with powerful arm swing in order to smash the ball onto the opponent's side of the court.
Blocking. Blocking is a defensive skill used to stop the opposing team's attack and can also be used to potentially score points. Blockers must focus on stopping the opposing team's offensive attacks while also paying attention to the opposing setter so they can be better predict the opposing team's attack strategy. It is important for blockers to be able to react to an attack quickly and be in position before the attack is completed. Blockers must have good timing, vertical height, and hand positioning in order to effectively stop the opposing team's attack. An amazing blocker will be able to predict where the ball is going to be and already be in position to block immediately after the ball is set. They will also be studying the hitter habits throughout the match and how they like to hit to improve their own blocks as well. Digging. Digging is a defensive skill used to save the ball from hitting the ground is often done with the ball does not come directly at the player, and a standard underhand pass would be possibly or extremely difficult to get. To get into a digging position, the player must sink their hips low to the floor with their heels slightly raised in order to be light on their feet. They must then straighten out their arms into the underhand pass position. In order to dig for the ball, the player must push off their toes and use their lower body to move their upper body. Players must also be ready to dive for the ball, but that's often not necessary if you're already positioned to where the ball might be going. Liberos are often to position that digs the most as they are the core of a team's defense. As you get more advanced in volleyball, there are many different types of spikes you can do. Cross-court spike. A cross-court spike is an attack that goes diagonally across the court from one corner to the opposite corner. This type of spike is often used to avoid the opposing team's blockers and to target an open area of the court. Line spike. A line spike is an attack that goes straight down the line ahead of the hitter, either the left or right side of the court. This spike is difficult to block but also difficult to land as it is treading near the out of bounds line. Tool spike. A tool spike is an attack that intentionally hits of the opposing team blocks, deflecting the ball out of bounds. This type of spike is often used when the opposing team's blockers are positioned close to the net and the attackers has limited options.